Stephanie Rudloe, welcome to the Slow Style Home podcast. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Zandra. We're so happy to be here today.
Stephanie, you've had quite a career. You do your own design work, but you also have this really amazing relationship with your co-founder of Marrakesh Designs. And I know you've been traveling for a very long time. You have a great eye, and we're going to jump into all of that today. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about yourself before we get kind of zero
Uh,
in on Marrakesh?
sure, I can tell you a little bit about my background. I studied art history and also art. I also have a background in learning about crafts. I went to Haystack Mountain School of Crafts for a couple of summers in Maine,
Oh, wonderful.
which I think gave me a great foundation and understanding for working with artisans in Morocco. Mohammed El Marouf is my business partner. We met in New York City at a dinner party over a conversation about Moroccan music. I
Okay.
had been reading Paul Bowles and Brian Geising, and I was interested in the Ganawa music, and he knew a lot about it. And I was doing a decorating project for a family friend and needed rugs. And so I went to his shop on Prince Street and got some Benny Arains. I'd never even really heard of them before. And it kind of grew out of that. And then he opened a shop in the Chelsea market. We were pioneers there, one of the first companies to be in Chelsea market. And we had a lot of space. And he started importing all of these things from Morocco. And he asked me to help him. And one of my first custom orders was with Albert Hadley.
Oh my gosh, you are
Yeah,
kidding me.
no. And I didn't
Design
know
legend walks into a
he was.
bar.
He did. I didn't even know who he was. I really did not know who he was, but he was very charming. And he was working with Harry Heisman, who is a designer. He's a friend of mine. And they placed a custom order. And then it kind of grew out of that. And he said, "Oh, you should just keep doing this. You're in the right direction." And I really didn't realize what that meant at the time. He gave me a rug that he didn't want anymore from his warehouse.
Okay.
And we sold it. We promptly sold it. And then my next custom order was also with like an icon in American interior design with Macmillan. I made some custom lighting for
Ah,
powder room and did the sketches. They had the sketches and we collaborated with the artisans. And then I got orders from Peter Marino Architects and we did a bunch of different special things with them. We started to learn by experience and then it just gathered momentum. So we have two parts to our business. We have a shop in the Chelsea market that is like a souk experience with all kinds of special treasures from Morocco, mostly one of a kind. And then I have Marrakesh Designs, which is more for the trade or for individuals who want to place a custom order and
mm.
collaborate with artisans in Morocco.
Okay. We're gonna now do a deeper dive into Morocco, and I kind of want you to be our travel guide. It is at the very top of my bucket list of places I want to go, especially for the design, but also the
Mhm.
food and the culture and the smells and I don't know, the music, like you said, and the light and
Yeah,
the architect, like all of it. So first, what we're looking at is what I'm assumed was a riad, which is a personal home with an inner courtyard kind of thing. Is that
mhm.
correct? Is that what we're
Yep,
looking at?
yep. So in Marrakesh, you'll walk down a labyrinth through little arched doorways and dark alleyways, and then you will come into this knock on a large wooden door and you'll come into a whole other world behind the
Oh,
closed doors. And all of these homes, most of the homes there have a central courtyard. So it's all about sort of an internal feeling there's a fountain in the center or plants in the center, a little central garden. And then there's rooms off to all of the sides. It's set up as a quadrant.
this is so beautiful.
Um,
The sunlight
it is
streaming
so
in.
beautiful. That is where we would, for many years, that has been our center place to meet with clients and to store the goods
Right.
on our shopping trips. And it was also a little bed and breakfast for people, for friends and family
All
who wanted
right.
to stay there. So it's really special. And it's very hot in Marrakesh. So you have the center of the courtyard, which can have some sunlight, but all the side rooms don't have any windows. Most
Mm.
of them do not have windows, especially on the lower level for protection, but they're very cool. And they have the banquettes lining the rooms. There's usually two sitting rooms, and then there's a dining room and a kitchen off to the side.
The idea of public-private space is particular to Moroccan culture, or at least to several of the countries that are in that area. Is that fair to say?
I would say so. I mean, I think that in the sense that the decoration is all about like the inside of the building, not the outside. So you're not looking at what a house looks like on the outside. You have no idea. It's about what's inside the house that matters.
And so then
So
it
I think
must
that's
be quite
different.
an honor to be invited into anyone's home, right? I mean, you're really
It,
coming into their sanctuary.
yes, and it definitely feels like a sanctuary because it can be very, hot on the street, a lot of
Yeah.
action. And so when you come in to the home, it's a very restful place to be.
Yeah. And then, of course, what Morocco's famous for are their markets or souks. We're going to get into the shopping that you do while you are
Mhm.
there. But first, we just have to talk about the colors, the textures, the smells, the food. And so, what are we
Absolutely.
looking at here?
Okay, well, we're looking at olives, the
Yeah, a
olive
lot of
market,
olives.
and then a lot of olives, and we're looking at bread. So in Morocco, they have communal bakeries for bread where people will make their bread and bring it to a communal bakery and have it baked. This is
Mm,
someone who made their bread and then they're selling it on the street.
yeah,
And those two pictures of the bread and the olives were things we picked up for lunch.
yeah. I mean,
We were,
right.
racing around Marrakesh to different artisans in the Medina getting things, and we had to take a lunch break. And so we got the bread from somebody on the street, we got some olives, and then we went to a place where they cook lamb in a pit.
Oh,
And so you bring your own bread and olives and water, and then they serve you the lamb. It's really a lot
wow.
of fun.
And then
And
on the right, the spices or their
yes, that's like the
pigments. What are we
spice.
looking at here?
So yeah, we're looking at the spice market and also beauty products, like all
Okay.
kinds of things for
Yeah.
magic spells, beauty rituals,
I mean, the colors
perfumes.
are incredible. Those vibrant orange and purples and blues.
Yeah, it is just really so beautiful. And those baskets are used to hold these spices and herbs and
Yeah.
pigments. And we all import these baskets too. And I like to use them in the house just to hold anything and everything.
Yeah,
They're
even the
very
containers for things
multi-purpose.
are beautiful and
They are
handmade
beautiful.
and
Yeah,
obviously
exactly.
very utilitarian. So we're going to jump into some of the things that you look for while you're over
Yes.
there. Woodwork being one of them, these intricate designs that I've had the pleasure of seeing a little bit of in the Charles Spada Antique Shop in Boston, where you have some of your things. But tell us a little bit about this kind of
Sure.
artwork.
So
Yeah.
these are all one of a kind antique wooden doors. The ones on the left, that's a photo from a very tiny secret antique dealer's stall in Marrakesh that you would
Okay.
never find it if you were not with Mohammed.
I love it. I love it.
It would be impossible to know that it was there. But this
Yeah.
person has like all kinds of treasures. It's a very tiny space, but it's one of our secret sources for our
Right.
doors. The middle photo is a riad, and it was kind of an estate sale. She was moving
Oh,
out. Yeah.
wow. Okay. I now need to go. I need to add estate sale to my list of things to do in Morocco.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That was rare that you get to go to
Yeah.
a Moroccan estate sale
And can you
for New
imagine? Well,
Yorkers.
of course you can imagine, but I'm just imagining getting one of these doors that's hundreds of years old, that's beautifully carved or painted or both, and bringing them into an American home, even one that's as old as mine, which was 1900, and
Yeah,
just I don't know, the soul that you're then bringing into your own home through these, I mean, these time-worn, well-loved doors.
that's right. It's actually a really great way to bring a lot of soul and character into a home.
Very quickly,
I
right.
mean, I always think it would be a really nice thing to have those doors be for like your china cabinet
Oh, yeah.
because you could open them and then you could have keep all of your dishes in there. That's one nice thing to do, sort of a
Yes.
secret cupboard. I actually have a pair in my laundry room,
Okay.
just hang out there. But it's a nice way of sort of giving you and because it's a door, it's like a portal into another space. Whether or not it actually leads into another space, it gives that
Oh,
feeling.
I love that
Yeah,
idea. Yeah.
yeah.
And then you
And
also commission new works. And
we
so
do know.
yeah,
Yep.
so
Yes,
let's
we
talk about some of the
do.
artists that do the woodwork for you.
Yeah. So, well, before we leave this page, I'll tell you about this is a mirror we got for our shop in Chelsea Market. This is contemporary Moroccan woodwork,
Hmm.
hand carved and painted.
Beautiful.
Very affordable, not too big. You don't need everything to be Moroccan, but just a little bit goes a
Right.
long way.
So with this mirror on the right, it's got an arched top to it, which I think is a motif that you see a lot
That's
in
right.
Moroccan design. And then it's got this sort of carvings that are, what do you call that shape?
It's like an 8-point star.
Okay.
It's a star motif. Most of the time it's made out of cedar wood because Morocco does not, they really only work with their own materials. They don't have a lot of things getting imported into their country. So
Hmm.
all the woodwork is done with cedar, which is an indigenous tree
Hmm.
to Morocco. So
Which then I think really gives us a sense of place and
yes,
bringing things home that are have a connection to the natural world, to the history of a place, which I think is so valuable, meaningful. I think the first thing people think of when they hear Morocco, though, is rugs.
that's true.
Famous for their rugs, also some
Yes,
tapestries. I think I have a couple of photos. The one on the left looks like you're in Morocco, that you're walking through some sort of alleyway or
you are. You're walking through an alleyway in the rug market in
yeah,
Marrakesh.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
some of the different types of rugs you
Sure, I'll tell you
mentioned.
about that. So this red rug on the right is from the Zamor tribe, and that is a flat weave rug. Moroccans like to lay them out on the roof for parties,
Okay.
or even in a courtyard for a party because they're not, they're flat, they're
Yeah.
colorful, they have these stripes, banded stripes with the intricate design inside. And the Zamor tribe also makes pillows,
Okay.
which we might have another shot. Actually, it's hanging on. There's a Zamor pillow under the teapot in that photo.
Oh,
But the
way
Zamor
over here.
pillows
Oh,
are
oh my God. The
also
little
from
tiny
that.
teapot on the left.
Yeah, there's
Okay. Yeah.
that's just the vendor's teapot sitting
Because
there.
of course one has to have their teapot with them as they're selling, of course.
They have tea all day long. And then the other rug is a pile rug. That is probably an Azilal rug, which is a little bit, it's like a more colorful, the very first one on the left, lower
Oh, this
left.
one. Yes.
Yeah, with the diamond. And that
Yep.
motif with the diamond is very typical in Moroccan rugs. It is a
Okay.
symbol for protection from the evil eye.
Okay.
And then next to it, we have a Berber blanket,
Ah,
striped Berber blanket,
yep.
which is a super fun thing to keep your eye out for because it not only can it be a throw, you can make curtains out of these blankets.
Ooh.
And they are really fun and a very affordable way to make a curtain. And then there's a couple of pile rugs.
Right. And by pile, you mean it's got a little bit of cushion to it. It's a taller,
uh,
yeah, I
Hand
mean,
spun wool, hand
yes.
woven. Yeah, it's
Okay.
all hand woven.
Okay.
All of it in Morocco. Very little is factory made. Yeah.
And now we are back in the States, it looks like, according to these photos, with a lot of rugs. And so tell us about some of the rugs that we're looking at here. And also, you
Sure.
mentioned something about, I think you've said a couple times that sometimes things coming from Morocco that you're selling are inexpensive. So what are we talking here?
You mean for price?
Yeah.
Uh, we try to really actually sometimes you can get a better price buying a rug from us in New York than you can in Marrakesh from the
Wow.
dealers there because Mohammed works directly. Most of our rugs come right from the weavers that
Oh,
we know the people, the women. We bypass the middleman, and he has been doing a really special project with these women weavers and buying the wool, really good quality wool. The wool comes from local sheep in the
okay.
Atlas Mountains, and then the wool gets washed, and then it gets hand spun, and then it's woven by women who mostly are working in their own homes to
Wow.
weave these rugs, while also managing their families. And we feel very strongly about doing our best to pay them a lot more than what they get paid by a middleman who's purchasing them to sell them in the market in Marrakesh. We're buying direct from the weavers and then importing them to New York. So a lot of these And the stack you see here were rugs that we produced. And then we also throw in some vintage rugs when we find something really special and magical.
Yep.
We always scoop that up, but it's been getting harder and harder to find good rugs because they're so popular. So we really try to choose pretty carefully. And we do have a variety of, like a real range of prices. But so you could get a small rug from us for like $250, or you could get a rug for like $2,000. But we
Sure.
try to
And
keep it within that price range.
so you said that a lot of these are one of a kind. Are the weavers just creating their own designs? Do you ask them to use particular colors or motifs, or how does that process work?
That's a great question. I find doing custom work with the Moroccan weavers to be really difficult. Like, I just think that they are best left untethered
Huh.
as
Okay.
artists. I think it's better to just let them do whatever they want to do.
Interesting. Okay.
They just kind of come up with their own motifs. They are traditional Berber symbols that they weave in, and then they mix in with colors. Sometimes they're working with just different odd bits of wool that are left over
Mm.
from another project. So that to me makes it really exciting and a really fun thing to think about.
This idea of the imprint of the human hand and bringing that into your home. I mean, this is someone who has not only the skills required to do this kind of weaving, but has their own artistic vision, their own preferences for color or for motif or for geometry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really quite personal.
Yes, it is. And Moroccan rugs, like in terms of, an American design history, Frank Lloyd Wright and Mies van der Rohe were using Moroccan rugs in their homes that they designed
Huh.
because, something very contemporary, very clean, but this sort of the raw beauty and the naturalness of it's balanced out that kind of space. And I think at almost anybody's house, you can have an oriental carpet and then you can also have a Moroccan pile rug, like one of these
Right.
rugs here. And just that mix and the textures, it kind of just loosens things up and it really brings a lot of life into a house, a lot of spirit. It's amazing that
Yeah.
handmade touch is a really powerful thing to
Oh,
include.
I'm so glad you brought that up about how things have been mixed together. I didn't know that about Mies van der Rohe and Frank Lloyd Wright. That's really amazing and very cool and very forward thinking of them.
It was very also Frances Elkins, who is an
Yeah.
American interior decorator. She used Benny Arain rugs in her designs
Oh,
in the 30s, 1920s and 30s. So these were
yeah.
people pioneers who are bringing these rugs over here and using them. So one
Right.
of these Moroccan shag rugs are definitely a design staple. They can mix in with a lot of different environments.
Let's
Yes.
look at some of the baskets. You were talking about how
Okay.
this photo's on the left. These are the workhorses, right? They are lugging and carrying everything to the souks, probably from the farm to the souk. And then over on the right, we have some beautiful North African baskets, I guess. I don't know much about
Yep.
them.
Those are used for bread,
Oh, wow.
to hold bread.
They're
Yep.
they're just multicolored. They're fabulous colors. They've all got lids on them. Tell us about where they come from and about the fact that they're for bread.
Yep, they're from southern Morocco, and
Okay.
they are all one of a kind. Mohammed is passionate about collecting them.
Oh,
They keep trickling over here, and I
incredible.
use one to put my daughter's snacks in my
Oh,
kitchen.
yeah. I love it. And what are they made out of? What kind of material?
They are coil straw wrapped in wool.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then you also commission, I believe, some lighting out of
Right.
brass. So brass metals.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at the intricate design just on this little faucet that you have there. I don't know if that's an antique faucet or if it's new.
Oh, it's an antique faucet. I took a picture of that just because I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Because they
great.
do make these faucets. I am a little unsure about the logistics of how you've got to have just the right plumber who can get it set
Right.
up for you here. But people
Right.
do it. But they have a lot of nice decorative hardware details in Morocco.
And it's brass is everywhere and it's it at all different levels of shine.
That's right. This is
So on
true.
the left, we're seeing one of the pieces that you commission or work with artisans to make. I assume it's this beautiful globe lamp. Tell us about the lighting
Sure.
fixtures in Morocco.
Yeah, so this is our filigree globe light, and it's all hand cut. There's a template, that the artisans make out of paper, and then it's glued down onto a sheet of brass and then sawed out with a
Wow.
jeweler's saw. It's
Wow.
amazing.
I mean, that
And then
must
the
take
whole,
hours.
it does take hours. And then the whole effect is when it's illuminated is that it is going to create a pattern all over your walls and ceilings. So you
Yes.
get to have Moroccan wallpaper out
Yes.
of light in the evening. Moroccan lighting is really about mood lighting, creating a shadow pattern. It's
Mm,
not great if you need a primary source of light, but it's a really nice thing to put if you have a long hallway. And we
right.
do make those. We have them for our shop in New York, and we also make them by custom order.
And then we're looking at this table, this Moroccan brass tabletop that to me, this is sort of this and the rugs are sort of this is what I think of when I think of Moroccan design.
Uh-huh.
Those are
Yeah,
the first two
yeah.
things that come to mind. Tell us what we're looking at here with these brass tabletops because they're pretty interesting.
Yep, they are. That's like a Moroccan tea table. This particular piece is, in fact, not Moroccan. It is Syrian,
Okay.
but it could be Moroccan. That is in my collection, and it happens to have a mid-century Danish base,
Yeah.
which I think is like a nice mix. The base is all folded up. You can tuck it away. You can tuck the tray away if you don't need it, especially if you
Yep.
live in a small space. And they use them in Morocco, like for parties. You know, if you have your Zamor carpet on your rooftop, and then they have the trays, and you have some floor cushions, you're all set.
Some of the tribes that you're talking about that you have sourced these materials from, were they nomadic? Is that the reason why some of these things are like why they would need a tea tray to fold up and go?
Yes, you're right. A lot of it is coming out of like the tea tray. The folding tea tray is sort of out of nomadic culture, as are like the rugs too, like the Beniarine rugs that are very, everybody kind of knows them now. The thick
Yeah.
white, ivory pile rugs were woven by the Beniarine tribe, and they were used as bedding because they're so
Oh,
soft and thick and plush. Yeah,
and so you
yeah.
roll
So
up
they
your
roll them
bed
up.
because yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
you roll
Okay.
it out and then you roll it back up. So yes,
Okay.
it does come out of that nomadic lifestyle.
Right.
Okay, pottery.
So pottery is another thing that you would
Yeah,
bring back with you. I think some of it's new, some of it's old. On the top left here, we're looking at a cooking vessel, I assume.
yes. That is a tagine. That's a
Hmm.
Moroccan, traditional Moroccan cooking pot. And for stewing, for making a tagine is a slow style cooking.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's a stew that could be vegetarian or with meat, and it's cooked in this tagine clay pot. They'll cook it over an open flame and a little charcoal burner in the street. This is a man actually walking through the Medina selling tagines at lunchtime for people to take to their stalls for
Oh,
the vendors. So they're picking it up for lunch. Yeah.
yeah. You can see you've got a variety of large urns for plants, but then you
Mhm.
also have some colored pottery, like these bowls here. Is that unusual, or is
No,
it
there's
typical to see
so
colored?
these are, I'll tell you about the bowls. That is called Tamgrout pottery, and it's the green glazed ceramic.
Okay.
They also make vases and candle holders, but I love this bowl. I think it's a great home accessory because you can do so many things with it. It has a little foot and it looks really beautiful, filled with
Yeah.
lemons or,
Oh, yeah.
and then up above are the clay pots for Moroccan rooftop gardens. That's where they usually end up. The garden is
Okay.
on the top of the riad, and they have cacti, plants that don't require a lot of water, and they have these clay pots. And
Mm,
that is Morocco is a great place to get clay pots
mm.
for your plants.
And moving on to the carving work. I don't know what else to call it. I'm not sure what this material is, but I wanted to show the photo on the left. You can see a work in progress and some of
That's
the
right.
tools that are used. On the right is this beautiful finial. I'm not sure what it is. Tell us about what we're looking at here. It's white. What's the material?
Yeah, what we're looking at is called gebs in Morocco. It is gypsum or plaster. It's hand carved plaster,
Okay.
and it is used as your crown molding.
Yeah.
There can be whole ceilings carved out of it. It can be a niche carved out of it. You can get it either custom made, hand carved, or it is cast in a
Okay.
mold cast. So the
Right.
hand carved is more expensive than the roll cast, but we've done some really special projects with the plaster, and it's
It's
just so
so
beautiful.
intricate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
yeah,
just, it's pretty stunning. To think about having that in your home, along with the tile work that Morocco is also famous for. So you've got your Zalige tile, and you've got some of your other hand cut tile. Um,
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So this is the Zalige tile, which is a ceramic mosaic tile that is made in Morocco. It's a very old craft and it is all handmade. It continues to be handmade. And we make tables out of it. But in Moroccan architecture, it is used to clad the sides of the walls, like up. It's a very high wainscoting. So if you see this
Yes.
picture here, this is a custom project we did in Cambridge. And in a typical Moroccan room where the tile design ends, then you would have a band of the Gibbs plaster work as a
Yeah.
border. And then you would
Right.
have just some white plaster wall that can be used for floors or for fireplaces. And we work with a really great artisan workshop who makes everything to order, and every project is really different.
So this is
So
unlike the rugs, this is where you actually can be very custom in getting what you want.
yeah,
Okay, so now we're seeing it installed as a floor in what looks like a dressing room.
it was gorgeous. That was a combined dressing room and bathroom
Yeah,
with a Moroccan
yeah,
floor. And actually, often when we do get the projects, it's from people that have traveled to Morocco and have been really moved by their experience and they want to bring that home. So
right.
it's usually people that have a really personal connection
Yep.
to something that they saw there and they loved. And this was inspired by an arch on the side of a mosque in Casablanca that was
Wow.
huge scale, and we kind of reduced it, changed the colors, made many samples, and the whole room is clad in this pattern.
So it's blue, different shades of blues and white and spiral patterns and sunburst looking
Yeah,
pattern.
they're called rosettes in
Okay.
Morocco.
Yep.
The rosettes and the arch, and he was really fun to work with. When we get it right, it's really satisfying because it fits the room like a glove, like it's couture for that
Yes.
room. And
Gosh,
and
stunning.
we're also, we try to have our prices be as reasonable as possible because we are supporting a living craft.
Yes, for sure. So
Okay.
the next few photos are things that you've styled and set up for your shop or shops in the States. This is an example of the black and white pottery with some tagines on the table. And then we have, like you said, a souk-like atmosphere in Chelsea Market. Looks, I mean, now you
Yeah.
can really see the lighting, how many different lighting fixtures there are, how many different shapes, but we're also seeing some other woven things like these woven stools, I guess you would call them, or ottomans.
We call them tabori or we call them a poof are really a great thing because they can be a seat or a little side table.
Yes, they are
And
great.
they mix well in many kinds of environments.
Now we see one of these bread baskets, but it's next to a miniature sort of tea tray that's up on little legs with what looks to be like a very traditional tea service, some more pottery on the left.
Yep, these are all kind of things that are good, fun home accessories. This
Yes.
glassware is an interesting thing that they've been making in Marrakesh. It is hand blown glasses from recycled Coca-Cola bottles, or also they have Fanta. They drink Fanta, but it's recycled glass.
Oh, Fanta,
And
like
they're
we would
hand
say
blown.
Fanta over here, but they call it
They
Fanta.
would say Fanta. They call it Fanta. Yeah. The orange soda. Often if you
Yeah.
don't have mint tea, they might offer you a
Okay.
soda. Yeah.
Stephanie, you've just given us a lot of really great inspiration. And also, I'm kind of brimming with ideas about how to bring pieces of it home. How do you recommend people bring it in without making everything Moroccan? Like, how do we make it work?
Yeah. In my house, I would say I have maybe like 5% Morocco. I'm not 100% Morocco. If you start to get familiar with what Moroccan rugs look like, you'll start to notice how many designers actually use a little bit of Morocco in their design. And it could be a rug or it could be a mirror. Anybody can have just like even a tiny little, we have little mirror, we have large mirrors with an arch or tiny ones that are like 6 inches high. And even just like a tiny little mirror right there can just add that bit of magic to your
Yes.
house. So it doesn't have to be a lot.
I love that idea of a little tiny mirror on like a mantle leaning there with a little votive candle in front of it because it's just tall enough it's going to catch that light from the candle and move it around the
Yeah,
room and you know like you said light is kind of a big design element on its own in Morocco.
exactly. You could just get a Moroccan lantern and you could put a candle in it. And it's going to go a long way. Or a vase. I love the vases from Morocco. I like to arrange flowers, and the Moroccan vases, you can get big ones, or you can have a huge urn or a little one, or and also the ceramics, like a bowl
Oh, yeah.
with fruit in it. If you just have a bowl and you fill it with, I go to Trader Joe's and I get the oranges in the winter that have the
Yeah.
clementines with the green leaf, and that in a
Yes.
Moroccan bowl is like that's all you need to make your house feel really good.
Oh, you are a kindred
Yeah,
Trader Joe's soul. Okay. I now that's another reason why we get along so well.
yeah.
Stephanie, thank you so much for taking us to Morocco and Marrakesh and Casablanca today, for bringing a little bit
Oh,
back to America for us.
thank you, Sandra.